With 2020 over and a new lunar event approaching, I wanted to take a chance to look back at the events of 2020 and see like how they could improve things and just the general thing of what to expect moving forward. As the developer said, what they want to do with events moving forward. So the first event I'm going to be talking about is called the Scarlet Swarm event, which took place between the days of January the 21st and the 4th of February. And this event was based off the Chinese New Year of the Rat, and the in-game changes that occurred were re-enabling the Howling Grounds lobby, re-enabled the Moonrise theme, re-enabled the lunar hooks and generators, and re-enabled the Chinese firecracker to appear in the blood webs of the survivors. So unlike the other two events, the red envelopes didn't really do anything in this game. In this event, I don't think you could even select them. Well, in the Howling Grounds event, it would generate generators and hooks, and you would hook in those special hooks and finish those special generators to get tokens to unlock cosmetics. And in the Moonrise one, it would generate lanterns that you had to either capture and escape as a survivor or destroy as a killer. And that's how you got points to get currency, to get cosmetics, and yada yada. Well, in this one, there were only login rewards. And there were login rewards for Dwight, Nia, and the Hillbilly. And in 2 special charms. For Dwight, you got a lunar rat cap. For Nia, you got a rat print top. And the Hillbilly, you got a brutal rat hammer. And the 2 charms were called Longevity Blessing and a lunar rat. In this event, honestly, it was kind of like very bare minimum. It was more like festive, but there was no objective, so it kind of didn't really have a point in my opinion. But considering how bad an event later down the line would be, I would prefer this over what we would end up getting, and I'll talk about that when I get to that event, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows what event I'm talking about. But I do like this event, and in this new event coming up, the Year of the Ox one, I don't know what the name is going to be similar to this one that I've heard, if WikiLeaks is to be believed. There are going to be 3 characters that you get login rewards, and then 2 special charms, which are going to be related to the animal that the year, the Chinese New Year is based off of. So it's going to be like a ox-themed charms, and ox-themed hat, ox-themed shirt, and I guess ox-themed weapon for the spirit, because that's one of the killers that was labeled in the WikiLeaks document that they put out. So, alright, moving on to my favorite event. So from February to June, there really wasn't an event, so that's kind of a long time between not having anything. I guess we did get Deathslinger in that time period, but event wise we only got like a blood hunt, and I don't really count that since it's just a double XP weekend type thing. But the 4th year anniversary started in June 23rd to the 14th of July, and obviously it celebrated the 4th anniversary of Dead by Daylight coming out. The in-game changes was that it added the anniversary lobby, added the anniversary loading screens, which had quotes from the development team, which was great because they had like inside jokes and memes and stuff like that. Re-enabled the anniversary theme music from well, actually I don't know if it had this music in the 2nd anniversary, but it was there in the 3rd anniversary event. It added the anniversary hooks, generators, anniversary lockers, added a special offering, and added special 4th year anniversary flashlights and medkits. So as for rewards in this event, there were 2 types of rewards. One that you had to actually work to get, and another where you just had to simply log in. We're going to talk about the login ones first, since they're the easiest ones. There was a full Claudette cosmetics, which I guess is a full body Claudette, but you had to collect them on different days. It was a Claudette head, shirt, and pants themed after the 4-year anniversary. Same with Deathslinger, hat, coat, and gun. And then the 2 charms that you got were a 2D 4 anniversary cake and a 3D 4 anniversary cake. And those ones were spread out throughout the event, so you just had to log in every day just to make sure you could get those special rewards. Now for the main reward that everyone will remember this event by were the crowns that you had to collect. These crowns would spawn randomly in the match, and if a survivor caught them, you would start to have like little glitter floating around you, and your main goal after that was to survive and get out to collect your crown. And every single original killer and survivor was able to get a crown. So the survivor crowns were like a pain in the ass to get, because just because you collected it doesn't mean you're gonna get it, because if the killer is gonna kill you, you're not gonna get it. As a killer, all you had to do was collect it, and you didn't have to do anything. I was able to collect it on the nurse, and I suck at nurse because I play on PS4, so I just got the crown, and then I just stood there and waited for the game to end. I would kind of like farm with the survivors too, because I know how much of a pain in the ass it was to get the crowns for the survivors. So I would always let one survivor go with their crown so that way they could collect it, because I knew how hard it was and how frustrating it could be, just that you're just trying to collect the crown for your favorite survivor, or you're trying to get all the survivors you can with a crown, and yeah, I was having that problem, so I wanted to ease it up on the survivor also. So all in all, this event was like, spoiler alert, it's my favorite event out of the year 2020. Out of the 4 events that did occur, the 4th year anniversary one was the best. Also, it also helped that Pyramid Head came out around this time, so we had a new killer, we had a new event. I was able to max out Prestige 3 my Pyramid Head, and then the cakes were a great way to level him up and they get a bunch of blood points. It was all around, it was a great time to be playing Dead by Daylight at that time. So you would think that after this event that the next event would be good, but sadly we go from the best event to arguably one of the worst events that we've had in Dead by Daylight. So here we are at the infamous Eternal Blight event. This event is the event that made everyone really upset, angry, frustrated, and in my opinion rightfully so, as when you compare this event to the other 2 Blight events, this one falls really short at pleasing anybody, and like, it was really ugh. But before I talk about the comparing and contrasting with the other 2 events that happened 2 the other years ago, let's go over the changes real quick. So this event occurred between the days of the 21st of October and the 4th of November, and it obviously is a celebration of Halloween. The in-game changes was that it re-enabled survivor items like the medkit and flashlight, and also the offering for both killer and survivor, which was the pustule petals, which would spawn a blight generator and a blight hook. But these 2 things really didn't have any effect, as the blight generator and blight hook, if you use them, all you would do was get extra blood points. They weren't really used for anything like event currency wise, as that wasn't a part of this event this year. But again, that's for later in this discussion. They did add new add-ons for the first time though. 2 add-ons for the survivor, a broken bulb and a refined serum. The broken bulb, I think, would make the flashlight flash. I didn't really use it as a survivor, as I didn't really play survivor during this event, but I know the refined serum, which was a medkit add-on, would give you like hope in a jar. It would give you the haste status effect, but it would also leave like a stream of blight juice, I guess, so it was easier to follow you if the killer was following you. You were faster for a little bit, but it was not too fast. As for the killer, this was the first time a killer got a universal add-on for all the killers, which was a blight serum, which gave you like a blight rush to every single killer in the game. This kind of had a negative side effect though, so like if you're playing Hag or Trapper, you would have to use your power all the time to get rid of the blight rush, so that way you could be able to put down traps. So like if you're the Trapper, the game starts, you find a trap, you have to use the blight rush to be able to put down the trap, or else you won't be able to put down the trap. So it's kind of frustrating. Same with the Hag. You run faster for a little bit, but you can't put down trap. It also re-enabled the Halloween music and changed the lobby by putting some pumpkins around. It didn't really change too much, as the Blights recently came out and the background was already looked like a Hallowed Blight event anyways. So moving on to rewards, in the Eternal Blight event, there weren't really cosmetics you could like earn in game. There were charms you could get, but these charms were locked behind codes, and these codes were given out through Discord, Twitter, Twitch, and Fog Whispers. And these ones were like, they weren't difficult to get, but you had to like actively go out to, you had to work for them, but not in a good way. Like, I would rather work for these cosmetics in game rather than be on my phone constantly looking up when a Fog Whisperer puts out codes, because you might miss it or you might not get this charm. And I know people will be like, these charms don't really matter, but this event at the same time didn't have any other rewards to work towards other than these charms, and these charms had to be got through these other means. For example, the killer charm Dwight Crow, which was the hardest one out of the other 3 to get, had to be got through fog whispers, and you had to stay up through streams, be lucky on videos, and these things were like super long. These codes were like humongous, so if you had to go up against a person on PC, the person on PC was going to get the code much faster than you could, because, well, for me, because I'm a console player, I play on PS4, these codes were super hard to get, and I almost didn't get a Dwight code until the very end, and I almost gave up on it because it was just too frustrating, but I was lucky enough to get one. So there is that. But the main problem that everyone had was that the hollowed cosmetics this year, there was no way to get any of them other than shards and real money. And that was a big issue, because looking back at the 2 previous events, I forgot what their names were, but they were both Blight events anyways, you won in-game currency to purchase cosmetics. So in the first Blight event, it was the typical thing: hook survivors to get currency, and for survivors you had to like milk a flower or something to fill up vials, and every time you filled up a vial, it would go towards getting tokens that you could purchase outfits. So for example, I got both killer and survivor sided ones, so I got 2 killer outfits, which was the Wraith and the Trapper. The following year, the event currency was moved from generators and hooks to the Rift Pass. So even though the Rift Pass kind of took over the event, the currency was still there, as this currency was now in place in the free section of the event of the Rift Pass. So you could still get the event currency, just not through playing in game. Now you had to fill this Rift Pass out, and even then, you got a free nurse outfit if you completed the Rift Pass. So you were getting technically 3 blighted outfits for free by doing this Rift Pass. 2 of your choice, and then the exclusive nurse one. So now we go on to this year. There's literally nothing to do to get any of these cosmetics other than paying for it with real money or shards. And the shards one is very impractical, since it's like 21,000 shards, which is, it takes forever to get shards. If you play the game long enough, you would know how long it takes and how frustrating it is. So it was a real humongous step back from the last 2 events, and I don't understand how the developers could think that these charms would be like a better substitute to the past outfits. You got 3 killer outfits this year, which was Ghostface, Blight, and Legion, and then I think it was 3 survivor outfits. 4 survivor outfits: Felix, Fang, Yui, and David. But the David one was stuck in the Rift Pass, so I don't know if it really counts, but it was in the paid section, so it wasn't free either. So this one was just a big debacle. It pissed off everybody to the point where they introduced the login rewards, which gave you shards and lowered the price of the cosmetics, so that way the shards they gave you 2 outfits of your choice. And obviously that did remedy it, but it kind of screwed me over because I didn't think they were gonna do anything, so I ended up buying the Legion outfit with my shards. So I ended up spending 21,000 shards, and then they lowered the price, and it made me feel bad. So that's why this event personally leaves a bad taste in my mouth when I think about it. And it hopefully moving forward next year, or this year's event, Halloween event, is much better than this one. And yeah, I guess you had to like really be there. The Reddit was like exploding, people making memes about it, about this event, how bad it was. YouTubers were making videos about it. Yeah, it was not a fun time to be in this event, as you know, it's supposed to be celebrating, and it's doing the opposite. It just was bad. It was a bad event all around. Yeah, and I'm done like kicking this event around. I'm gonna move on to the final event. So now we're moving on to the Advent Calendar event. This event went out through the month of December, and it took the place of the Winter Solstice event, which happened in 2017 and 2018, but was skipped in 2019. Unfortunately, it doesn't bring any of the Winter Solstice event stuff over, like no background music, no special hooks, no special generators, no special lockers, no winter party starter, none of that. It was just bare bones, and if you were new to Dead by Daylight, you wouldn't even know that an event was going on. But what made this event interesting and to get everyone to play more It had daily login rewards, similar to the Eternal Blight event, how they would give out blood points and shards toward the end when they were trying to rectify the problem they created back then. This one did that too, but for throughout the whole month. So you would get blood points and shards depending on the day of the month, and you could keep track of it on this calendar that they were always like talking about on their Twitter, in their social media and stuff. The other thing that was like the main event of this event was the special cosmetics that would be given out throughout specific times of the month. So for example, they would give out a ugly sweater for Zarina, Felix, Elodie, Cheryl, or like Frosty Eyes for the Blight twins or the Deathslinger. They would also give out special charms, but and these charms would also be like time sensitive, I guess. For example, the 2021 charm, you could only acquire it by putting in the special code on New Year's or the first couple days of January, which was like the last couple days of the event. And that's basically all this event is. It's just login rewards, nothing but rewards. There was no special theming, no goal. You just had to play. It was a very easygoing event, I suppose, and it could be worse considering that the Eternal Blight one was such a mess prior to this one. So it's still, even though it's like very bare bones, I did have fun during this one, and it was fun like seeing the new rewards that would come up with, the new charms you got. You kind of had to work for the charms, but the charms weren't impossible to get like the stupid Dwight Crow one. So it was more fun and less frustrating. And it kind of combined the best parts of the Eternal Blight, which was the codes to get the charms, but it minimized difficulty to get them, and also gave you free cosmetics for your survivors and killers, even though the killer ones were kind of lame, since Frosty Eyes normally would be given out for free, but now you have to use special codes to get them. And the Blight one was ugly. But the ugly sweaters for the survivors was great. I really liked that. Moving forward with this event though, if they were to do it again in 2021, I would hope that they would get all the best stuff of the Winter Solstice event and move it over to the Advent Calendar one. So just the background, the special music, the winter party starters, the lights around the generator hooks and lockers, throwing a blood hunt around Christmas time, and it would be perfect. That event would be up there and even rival that of the 4th year anniversary one, which is in my opinion still the best event that they've done. So yeah, that's my opinion on the Advent Calendar one, and I'm pretty sure everyone liked it. It was a great event. So now moving on to 2021 events. Obviously, the new Lunar New Year event is coming up, and what the developers have said about events moving forward, they're going to concentrate on 2 big events, which is going to be the 5th anniversary this year and the new Blight event, which will be going on in Halloween. Those 2 events are the ones that they're going to be focusing on the most. So I assume that the Lunar New Year event that's coming up will be similar to the Scarlet Swarm event that happened last year. And I guess that's fine. It's not awful. It's going to be like, we're going to get 5 things, 2 survivor outfits and a killer weapon, and then 2 charms. And then obviously they're going to give a cosmetic in the shop and all that. So nothing really too groundbreaking, but it'll be nice to play with the themed backgrounds and stuff. And I hope they do an Advent Calendar event this year and implement what I said before. So yeah, I really don't know how to end this video, so if you liked it, please give me a comment, like, subscribe. I would appreciate feedback, and hopefully 2021 has really good events, and I'll see you next time.